So starting off with the one that started it all with Nosferatu. Apparently, Count Orlok in Nosferatu only blinks once. In the 9 minutes of screen time Max Schreck has as Count Orlok in F.W. Murnau's classic Nosferatu from 1922, he blinks only one time. And obviously, there are rumors that he was actually a real vampire. You know what? I'll do 5 of these, and then maybe next week we could continue this.
Oh, I think the scariest non-horror film is probably the Star Wars Christmas special, actually. Now that someone mentioned Darth Vader.
Brilliant.
It made me tear my eyes out. These are replicas.
So The Exorcist was the first horror film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. There still seems to be a bias against scary movies during awards season, and The Exorcist earned 10 Oscar nominations in 1974, including Best Supporting Actress for Linda Blair, who was only 15 at the time. Robert Englund was not the first choice to play Freddy Krueger.
Really? I think I remember reading something about that.
Wes Craven reportedly planned to have a stuntman play the seemingly immortal youth hater known as Freddy Krueger, but wisely opted to go with an accomplished actor for the role instead. His first choice was David Warner, who you'll no doubt recognize from Time Bandits, Titanic, and various incarnations of Star Trek. He had to pass on the project, which opened the door for the truly excellent Robert Englund, and he is excellent. In fact, my mate at not the same con, but another con we went to, did meet him, said he was really lovely. Number 4, Psycho is the first American film ever to feature a toilet on screen.
Wow.
In addition, it's the first American film in which we hear a toilet being flushed. So, there we go. Truly horrific, seeing a toilet on screen. That's the real horror of Psycho, seeing a toilet on screen.
I'm going to kill you now, but first I need a number 2.
Yes. And number 5, Stephen King. I mean, I guess this is common knowledge. Stephen King wasn't a fan of The Shining, as in the film adaptation.
They were big rivals, though, weren't they? Stanley and Stephen.
Stanley?
Stanley Kubrick.
Did I say? Yeah. Well, I thought you meant Stan Lee, as in Marvel. No, Stanley Kubrick. Well, just to give you a bit of context, he told Playboy. I was having an interview with Playboy. Fair enough. I'd admired Stanley for a long time and had great expectations for the project, but I was deeply disappointed at the end result. Parts of the film are chilling, charged with relentlessly claustrophobic terror, but others fell flat. Yeah, no, you do have the argument with The Shining of book adaptation against film adaptation. There's so apparently the book is very different to how the film actually turned out, and Stanley Kubrick obviously had to stamp his auteur brilliance on it. If you have two great powerhouse writers and directors like that together, obviously there's going to be a conflict of interests there.
Okay, well,
but and he didn't like the casting of Jack Nicholson either.
Really?
And he said he was wrong for the part. His last big role had been in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and between that and the manic grin, the audience automatically identified him as a loony from the first scene. But the book is about Jack Torrance's gradual descent into madness.
I can see why you wouldn't like Jack Nicholson.
I see that, because Jack Nicholson's obviously he had that look which looks mental from the very beginning. Because that's just how he looks. It'd be like casting Willem Dafoe as Jack Torrance.
Yeah, although I mean, they did kind of get that right.
Jack,
in
like William Dafoe in The Green Goblin. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, you obviously knew he was going to be the Green Goblin because he already looked mental. You know what I mean? Sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, like, well, at least at the start, he kind of had that charm about him. I just can't picture Willem Dafoe not looking like Christopher Walken. That's just. I just feel like they're brothers.
I can kind of see the resemblance. By the way, if none of you out there have ever seen The Lighthouse, which is a film that came out earlier this year with Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, go and watch it. It's amazing. It's by the same director as The Witch, Robert Eggers, and it's I guess you could call it a horror. It's more of a psychological thriller, and there's lots of very disturbing imagery, and it's about two lighthouse keepers that kind of are stranded on this island, and they kind of go a bit mad, but brilliant performances. I've probably sung its praises enough on the podcast previously, but Yeah. So, have you got anything else to say about that, KB?
No.
Oh, we have Murray Man in the chat saying Willy Wonka tunnel scene in the film.
That's when he cuts off the chicken's head.
Oh God, yeah, that is unnecessarily scary.
Yeah.
It really. People go on about how like messed up the Johnny Depp version was because Johnny Depp was essentially playing Michael Jackson. But if you look at the 60s film, it's so much more disturbing.
Oh, definitely. He's like a farmer now, isn't he, Charlie? The guy who played him.
Something like that, yeah. He's a big actor. The Charlie in the Johnny Depp version has gone on to do loads of things.
Freddie Highmore, yeah.
In that Freddie Highmore, yeah.